So people just see. We have looked at from the phonetics region. We have started with the phonetics region. The phonetics region begins with, or we start by looking at the vocal cords. Then the glottis. What is the glottis exactly? The glottis is the opening between the vocal cords. Okay, the glottis is the opening between the vocal cords. Now, how will you imagine a vocal cord? Vocal cords will be just like a rubber band. Imagine a rubber band. Okay, can anyone lend me their hairband, or do you have a rubber band with you? If you have a rubber band with you, you can lend it to me. Just like a rubber band, I'll demonstrate it to you if I have one. Hairband இருக்கா? நான் என் கையில கொடுக்க வேண்டாம். உங்களுக்கு hairband இருக்குன்னா நான் hairband மட்டும் நீங்க இது பண்ணுங்க. Stretch it. That is how a vocal cord looks like. And very good. Come. Can I handle it if you don't mind? Okay, very good. Thanks a lot. So the vocal cord is placed like this. It is placed like this. Okay, above the windpipe, and it stretches and just like a rubber band. Okay, it stretches and contracts to produce sound. Okay, it stretches and contracts to produce sound. Only thing, when you look at it from below, it will be like this. If you look at, if you want a better view, it will look like this. Okay, I'm just showing it to the camera so that it stretches, and what happens? You try this. In a thinner rubber band, you blow air, it will react, it will vibrate. This vibration of the vocal cord is what you see and voice. With thinner rubber bands, just stretch it and you blow air in between the band, between the two strands. Okay, what will happen? It will vibrate. Okay, thanks a lot, Pana. I'll bring a rubber band to demonstrate this. So, glottis is the opening between the vocal cords. The opening between the vocal cords. Then we have the epiglottis. What is the function of the epiglottis? It got a rough shape. Actually, now all of you know beetle leaf. It will look just like a beetle leaf placed at the bottom of your tongue. Your tongue vocal cords whenever you swallow. Okay. Then we have the three parts of the tongue: the back of the tongue, the center of the tongue, and the front of the tongue. Okay, the back of the tongue, the center of the tongue, and the front of the tongue. All these parts of the tongue are involved in production of sound. There are, like you said, ulnaku, that produces a particular but ra kadayadu, ra patti appuram na ra patti Tamil oda ra dana pesra adana sonninga I'll talk about that thing. Then we have the phylum or soft palate, which acts like a flap. I will draw like this. Let me draw this dotted line so that you understand that this acts like a flap while you are breathing. Okay, and when you are producing nasal sounds, the air has to go through the nasal cavity. Okay, now let us come to the roof of the mouth. Before you come to the roof of the mouth, I want you to do a small exercise. The exercise is this. This is the roof of the mouth. Think of this hand, or think of this hand as the roof of the mouth. Okay, something like this. Take your tongue and run it from behind the upper row of teeth to how much ever you can go. But remember, don't reach this. If you reach vomiting sensation, don't do that. Okay, as far as you can. Come on, just do it once and tell me how many regions you can. Okay, how many regions you can feel? Ketana distinct regions theriyum. 1 or 2 or 3 or yes. Okay, 2, 1 or 2. 2. Are you able to see 3? Start from behind the teeth. Okay, 2 distinct 2 theriyum illiyama. Okay, and you will feel a rough. You did 2 or 3. There are 3 regions. When you run your tongue on the roof of the mouth, first you will see a rough part of the roof of the mouth, which we call as the alveolar bridge. Now, why is it called this? It's called a ridge because it looks mountainous. Inverted mountains, ridge. Okay, hills, alveolar ridge. Then there is a smooth part. There is a smooth part which is just behind the alveolar ridge. That is the hard palate. P-A-L-A-T-T, hard palate. Then further down, you will not be able to speak when your tongue runs over this. Okay, the back part of the mouth, the back part of the roof of the mouth. That is the soft palate. If the feel will be, I'm just giving this as an example. You can develop your own examples for this. Okay, the feel will be just like the soft part of the ironing. ஒரு coconut எடுத்துட்டு, you take the coconut, you take the தேங்காய் part of the coconut, touch it. அது இவ்வளவு சாஃப்டா இருக்கு. தேங்காய் அப்படி இருக்காது, இளநீ அப்படி இருக்கும். Okay, the coconut water, after drinking the coconut water, certain most of the இப்போ of course சிலதெல்லாம் ஹைபிரிட்ல வர மாட்டேங்குது, but when you have that the fresh part of the coconut will be like this. The soft part is called as the அதோட feel அப்படி இருக்கும். Now most of you, I'm just going to show this. When you look at your mouth, there is a small pendulum hanging at the end of your mouth. What is that? Okay, so that is the velum. That is the uvula. Okay, there's a small pendulum that I want you to do this with a mirror. Okay, I'm not able to show it here. Maybe I'll show it in a different context, in a different video. You do that, it will vibrate. You try that and it will vibrate. Okay, நீங்க மிரர் வச்சு பண்ணீங்கனாக்க மிரர்னால லைட் போடணும், அந்த லைட் உங்களோட மவுத்ல தெரியும். Try doing that. Okay, you can use your cell phone for that. So that is your uvula. So from bottom, let's quickly look at what we saw today. Vocal cords, glottis. Vocal cord which is responsible for voicing. Glottis is the opening between the vocal cords. Epiglottis, which is at the end of the tongue. Then the back of the tongue, center of the tongue, front of the tongue. Then we looked at the roof of the mouth, soft palate, hard palate, alveolar ridge. Okay. What else? At the end of the soft palate, we saw there is a small fleshy part of the roof of the mouth hanging, which is the uvula. Okay. Anything else? Then we have the nasal cavity and the oral cavity. Did we forget anything? I think we have not yet looked at. Inna further, where enna nama miss pandrom? Teeth. Problem in understanding this? No, we look at it again. Don't worry. So we have the teeth, upper and lower row of the teeth. Okay, and then it has become a bit crowded. We have the upper lip and the lower lip. Okay, so from the way things have turned out, I believe what we will do is we will start looking at this again. Okay, any background is going to come on. Nose varada, nasal cavity na varum, oral cavity is na part. Okay, so again, let's, before we say goodbye and before we say goodbye to this particular video, to this particular class, we started with the vocal cords, which is responsible for voicing. Glottis, which is the opening between the vocal cords. Epiglottis, which helps to cover the vocal cords when you swallow food. Then we have the back of the tongue, center of the tongue, front of the tongue. Okay. Then above that, you go up, you have the velum. Velum with the fluid, we have the uvula. Then the roof of the mouth. Velum is part of the roof of the mouth. Okay. The roof of the mouth is divided into 3 regions: alveolar ridge, hard palate, soft palate or velum, and you have the uvula, you have the nasal cavity, teeth, and lips. Now we are going to see. We are going to start from the lips. The next class, what we will do is, what I believe is, there are some regions which I have not talked about. We'll talk about that later. அது தனியா காட்டினா உங்களுக்கு என்ன புரியும்? இதுல காட்டினா become too crowded. Any Is it appearing too crowded? I know it's appearing a bit crowded, but don't worry about it. We'll look at it again. Don't worry at all. And we will see how many sounds are being produced, which part is involved in what, how the action of the tongue and other things. Okay. So we just looked at the articulators. We just looked at the articulators here, starting with the vocal cords and ending with the lips. All right, people. So maybe we'll do one thing. What I can do is we can start naming this or labeling this, and then probably writing the thing. That's what the Telugu department has done. I found it very effective. Many people do that. For example, instead of just doing it like this, can we try? Don't worry about it. Okay, what I'm going to do is, for example, I start with the lips. Okay, so this I call as 1. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it here. 1 is this upper lip and lower lip. Then that's upper and lower. Okay, 2. The upper and lower teeth, lips, teeth. Then I name this as 3. What is this? Alveolar ridge. Okay, 3 is alveolar ridge. I'm just finding alveolar ridge. Alveolar ridge is the rough part of the mouth. Okay. So just back. What are you doing? This na 3 button na. This is 4. 4 is hard color. Okay. Hard color. PA, அடுத்தது 5 Velam or soft color. Okay, just try this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Velam or soft color. Six. என்னமா போடுறது? Uvula. So yeah, it's almost Uvula. Uvula. Okay. Then yeah, very good. So we call it. இத நம்ம இவ்ளோ எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் பண்ண வேண்டாம்டா. இத நம்ம இவ்ளோ எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் பண்ணோம். நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம்? அங்கேயே எழுதிடலாம். 6 எழுதிட்டு 7 8 8 9. So 7 8 9 together we can write 7 8 9. Front, center, back of the tongue. Front, center, back of the tongue. Okay. Then 10 epiglottis. Can I write it here? One second. I'm recording. Come. Wow. 10. Even பாரு. என்ன நடக்குதுன்னு பாருங்க. 10 is epiglottis. Okay. 11 glottis. 11 is glottis. The opening between the and 12. Is this better? Vocal cords. Wait a minute. She is the daughter of one of our former students. So it gives me great pleasure in welcoming her here. என்ன நடக்குது பாருங்க. இந்த பாருங்க. இத அப்படியே ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். Yeah, that's what I do. எனக்கு இதான் தெரியும்.